AITA for naming my daughter a difficult name. I was adopted from Korea when I was a toddler. Both my adoptive parents are white and they never tried to connect me with my culture while I was growing up. They raised me to believe I was white like my siblings, and it wasn't until I entered middle school that I realized I was definitely not white. In college I met my now husband, who is also Korean. He's not adopted like me, but his parents did move to the U.S. from Korea when he was around 10. With that being said, we recently had our first child and we gave her a Korean name. No, we did not give her an English name as well, since the name really isn't that hard to pronounce. And I wanted her to have a name that was from her culture. We did a little family get-together with my family yesterday so they could meet her, but my mom kept bringing up how hard her name is to pronounce. I explained to her many times how to say it, and yet she still kept getting it wrong, which felt on purpose. After the millionth time of me correcting my mom about her name, she yelled at me and said I shouldn't have given her a difficult name and I was setting her up for failure and years of bullying. They left shortly after that, but I've been thinking about it since then. I don't think foreign names should be considered difficult, and they certainly shouldn't if it's your family. I know kids can be mean and bullying is common when it comes to names, but I would hate to raise my child to think she needs to change herself to make others feel comfortable. I don't want my child to be bullied or to set her up for failure, but I'm also scared of her growing up the same way I did. NTA. I'm very sorry, but clearly your parents, or at least your mom, are uncomfortable with your Korean identify. That's why they didn't teach you about your culture growing up. But if your kid has a traditional Korean name, then your family's identity, your differentness, can't be so easily glossed over. And that makes mom uncomfortable. Stand your ground. You have the right to give your child a name that is meaningful to you and your partner. P.S. My name is mispronounced constantly, but I still wouldn't change it. My name is who I am. It reflects me. The people who matter will remember how to pronounce it correctly. NTA. Tell your mother if she wants to have a relationship with her granddaughter, she needs to learn how to pronounce her name. If she has to practice it 1,000 times until she gets it right, that's what she should do. NTA. People learn to pronounce all sorts of names in all sorts of languages. She can learn. She's choosing not to. And given that they tried to erase your culture from your life, I'm not sure she's going to stop. Which makes her in awe. Not you. You haven't set your kid up for anything. NTA. Speaking as white person with two first and middle names that are apparently hard to spell and pronounce, I've made a point of it throughout my life to ask people, how do I pronounce your name correctly? Far too many have replied, it doesn't matter. Sometimes we get a bit weepy when I insist, that's your name. It's important to me to get it right for you. Please correct me when I'm wrong because you deserve that effort from me. We're all human under the skin. We all deserve the small bit of effort it takes to say someone's name as they expect to hear it from someone who cares. You, your husband and your little girl deserve people who care enough to try. Everyone who isn't willing to put that effort in fails as a caring human regardless of their color. And that's all I have to say about that. ETA. Clicks and whistles are hard. Not gonna lie. But since my tongue and epiglottis are naturally the same in nature, there's no reason outside of practice I can't say your name properly. NTA. Bullies are going to find an excuse to bully a kid. If not their name, then their clothes or hair or hobbies, etc., etc. NTA. My aunt is Korean. She moved to the US after she married my uncle. She obviously has a Korean name. At no point was there discussion about Americanizing her name. We learned her name and how to properly say it because she is our family. Your parents should do no less for you. NTA, if they can learn to say Tchaikovsky and Michelangelo and Dostoevsky, they can learn to say Uzo Amaka. Actress's mother told her this, and I always think of it when I hear stuff like this. Your parents are racist, unfortunately, with the way they refuse to try. Deem anything else as difficult, and literally whitewashing you. Tell your mother that she may be correct, but you never expected the bullying to come from grandma disappointed. NTA. My dad has a name that no one can speak without practice. He said he feels quite unique cause no one has the same name as him. The family had a nickname for him, and when he has to give his name to stranger he just goes with his last name. Definitely NTA. My name is normal for my culture, but my older brother has one that isn't everyone he knows, which is mostly people from a culture and ethnic origin different from his own. Learned to pronounce his full name because they cared. And that's just what people do. Like another poster said, nicknames are also common. My partner of 13 years has a name with a certain syllable that is very hard for me to pronounce, even though we have it in English. It's like the C part of the word vision. She claims I still don't get it quite right to her ear. But man, I am trying and will keep trying. She has a nickname that is shorter, which she prefers to her full name. But still, I would hate to raise my child to think she needs to change herself to make others feel comfortable. And that's all there is to it. Your mom is being low-key racist by whitewashing your upbringing and trying to do the same to your child. Don't back down. The world gets smaller and smaller, and people are gonna need to culture themselves instead of living in a box. NTA. Where I live, naming kids anywhere out of the norm is very often questioned, even criticized and scoffed at. Think language puritanism, and you'll get the idea. That being said, my partner is from one English-speaking country and raised in a second English-speaking country, so we named all our kids one English name. We were warned they'd be bullied, people would have a hard time pronouncing it, etc., but lo and behold, not one kid was bullied for their name or any other reason. And the only people having a hard time pronouncing it are the people who are being willfully obtuse. Haru is a beautiful name. I looked it up and it was pronounced pretty much exactly how I thought it'd be. NTA. People in English-speaking countries learned how to say Tchaikovsky and Schwarzenegger. I guarantee she can pronounce both of those names and recognize them when she sees them. Claiming to be unable to pronounce Haru correctly is just racism. Plain and simple. Also, that is a lovely name, and I can't imagine any non-racist person giving her any trouble over it. Not even children, unless they are being raised by racists. NTA. If you were raised in the US without a connection to Korea, it seems like you wouldn't have any advantage over your parents in being able to pronounce your daughter's name. There are some names that I genuinely have trouble pronouncing because they use sounds from a different language. I always try my best and would never blame the person. But even trying really hard, I might not get it. But in terms of language, there wouldn't be a difference between you and your mom, I assume. So it sounds like she's not trying. She's just being spiteful. NTA. But look at what you're saying. Your daughter doesn't have a foreign name. Your daughter is an American, and that means she has an American name. English is not the official language of the United States. The founders specifically chose that the US would have no official language. Never let anyone try to tell you or your daughter that they're more American than you are. Not even the people you love. Like your own mother. She's your mom, and you love her. So maybe just remind her of this truth with love as best you can. Calmly and directly. Every time she does this. And she'll come around. Welcome to dealing with grandparents. They're largely trainable. Definitely NTA. I'm sorry your mom is being an asshole about this sad face. Info. Just 'cause I'm curious. What's the name? If you are comfortable sharing it? NTA regardless. Your parents though. Woo boy. Your mom especially. It's incredibly wrong to adopt a child from a different culture and then completely cut them off from it. And to lie to them about it is just the icing on the asshole cake. NTA. She'll probably end up coming up with some nickname with friends anyway. NTA. I live in OCCA. We have so many different nationalities here. Most people keep their names in their own languages instead of trying to Americanize them. They are honoring their heritage. NTA. I was going to ask what the name was since I know homonyms from language to language can be problematic. Cultural connotations, sounds used for comparison with English, but I saw the comment that the name in question was not a homonym or something with awful cultural connotations, so NTA. Also, Haru is a lovely name. Your mother can be frustrated with it as she learns, but she is absolutely obligated to get it right. This is her grandchild, and the name you pick to give her a cultural connection you find important. She can take the term to learn the name and connect with her grandchild, because getting the name right won't be remarkable for the kid, but a family member consistently getting it wrong and putting in no effort will absolutely be remembered. Additionally, it's 2 syllables and sounds that exist in the English language. I know Russian has a few letters that don't really have an English sound equivalent. It shouldn't be a difficult name for most English speakers. Heck, that's less likely to get mispronounced than most of the American names I've heard. If you're feeling petty, send her a link to the skit about the substitute teacher who keeps hilariously mispronouncing the names of the students, then gets offended when corrected. It's from Key and Peele. https u2.be/dd7fixfolkbbw. Best of luck to you and your family.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.